think from this workshop I learned a lot, not just as an individual, but I think as World Vision Zimbabwe staff, we learned quite a lot. First and foremost, the Kaizen workshop taught us that Kaizen means change, and change which is not bad, but change which is good. And as we were going through the workshop, we're looking more at our processes, not just in isolation, but from beginning to end. So just looking at that whole value chain and trying to see how can we improve how we do business as World Vision Zimbabwe, specifically focusing on the grant side. So to me, I think that was a very good workshop. It was worth it. The 3 days were really, really worth it.
Right.
In terms of cross-functionality, how we looked at it as World Vision Zimbabwe was that we needed to look at everyone that had a contribution to the business process. So specifically for grants, we're not looking at just the GAM team or those guys, the program officers that write proposals. We're looking at even support services, such as finance, such as procurement, to involve all of us, to include. It was an inclusive approach, which I believe is critical because we all contribute towards that business process. So it was important for us. That's a very good observation. I think as finance, we've always felt that our contribution towards the grant business process was just to do budgets. And do budgets after the proposal has been written, a work plan has been drafted, then the log frame, then we can cost the activities. So we never felt like we're part and parcel of the whole process. But with this workshop, it taught us that as finance, we've got a part to play, for example, in pre-positioning. We've got a part to play, for example, also in proposal vetting. We've got a part to play even as we deal with donors. We are not just the number crunchers. We are more than that. Looking at even other areas such as implementation, such as close out, which was part of the whole process we're looking at during this workshop. We could see that as finance, we are critical. And for me, as the head of finance and support services, I'm very, very excited that even the teams from supply chain could see how much they matter in the whole business process. In terms of the tools, that was also a very enriching encounter for me. First and foremost, we're looking at the Delphi technique, which to me is a brainstorming technique, which doesn't just look at things in isolation, but on a broader level. And it is also participatory. So it's not just an individual, but as a team, we're all brainstorming together. And from there, the voice of the customer was another technique that I liked because it drew me back to why I'm there. So more of what is my purpose? Whom am I serving? Which customer? So whatever process I'm doing, I'm looking at it to say, whom am I serving? When I say I'm adding value to who? And is it really adding value? Or it's just a necessary process? So that was also very important for me. Then we also learned critical to quality. Sometimes I'm saying that we say I'm adding value, but does that add satisfaction to the customer that I've identified? So let me give you an example. When I'm reviewing a payment, for example, in finance, I never used to think about it in terms of I'm adding value to this customer. It was just a mundane process to comply. But right now, after the workshop, when I go back and do that process again, the first thing is, am I adding value? Who is my customer? My customer could be a program manager. My customer could be an ADP manager. My customer, obviously, ultimately will be the child. So I look at the efficiency of that process and am I able to deliver value? Something that the customer appreciates as value. So it was very good in terms of the techniques that you taught us.